Thank you for downloading and happiness!
Dare to be happy. We are two curious friends that want to explore what makes us happy.
In each episode, we will take a topic in alphabetical order and discuss how it relates to and impacts happiness.
We'll live the experience of each concept through a dare that we set each other and then talk about how it affected our happiness.
As well as diving into psychological theories and evidence which supports or contradicts our personal experiences.
In other words, in this show, psychology meets play.
I'm Kitty Newman, Director of Trapeze Media, a digital marketing agency that leads with social. My company philosophy is based on the importance of play in all our lives and how important it is to be happy at work. I have been obsessed with the circus for a few years, hence the name Trapeze Media, and making time for things like handstands and aerial in amongst the day-to-day challenges that come with running a successful business makes me happy.
My name is Klaudia and I'm a work psychologist and learning and development specialist with a purpose to boost happiness in the workplace. I love experimenting and applying scientific research on happiness to my daily ups and downs, or just to prove my other half wrong. I also like to look for happiness in unusual places, so I won't shy away from diving with sharks or starring in a pantomime. Sometimes this gets me in trouble. Kitty, this is 4th episode of our podcast and happiness. And we are tackling today a very interesting topic, letter D for dreams.
Dreams can come true.
Oh no, I had a different song stuck in my mind. Sweet dreams are made of these.
That is a great song.
That is a classic.
Claudia, I really struggled with the dare.
Okay, so do you want to remind us what was the dare? Because I was struggling as well.
We dared each other to identify a dream that we've had and then make a bold move to make that dream a reality. And I couldn't remember what my dreams were as a kid. And then I thought about something like, I always wanted to be famous. I do not want to be famous anymore. And then I was like, okay, well, maybe I wanted to be a singer. What should I do for that? I did an open mic thing before lockdown. Okay, well, what else? And I was thinking about all my dreams, and actually, I have so many hobbies. I actually touch on almost everything that I want to do. I've wanted to make films, but then I make little videos and stuff for work, and I make little, I don't know, I found it really hard to think about something that I could do. But that also did make me feel quite happy, because I was thinking, I feel really good about the fact that I'm doing all these things that tap into these dreams that I did have. Like I did have dreams when I was a kid. And then my dreams now, I'm making moves to achieve them all the time. But I feel a bit weird about saying that. How did you find it?
I found definitely also quite difficult. A similar experience of not being in touch anymore with some of the dreams that maybe I had when I was a younger or a child. They are not very relevant to my current life. And then I found that things that are relevant, certain dreams had to be put on hold because of external factors. So I also struggle a little bit with the dare of what can I set up myself and what can be the exciting dream. So I took a little bit different approach. But maybe before we go into it, can we chat overall and introduce the topic of dreams a bit more?
Yes, please.
I don't know if there anything specific comes to your mind when you're thinking about having dreams?
Ambition, goals, and future setting of where you want to end up in your life. I think about that.
Yeah, I like definitely the idea that dreams give us a direction in life, give us something to focus on. And there is just numerous of studies that show how important it is to our happiness that we have dreams. Studies that show that dreams give us a sense of meaning and purpose, sense of accomplishment. They help us to build our confidence because we learn skills and we believe that we can do even more in the future. They help us to focus our attention. And it's very important that we're working towards something bigger, exciting, and really have that overall direction. Anything that you can specifically relate to?
When you say that, for sure. I set my business up 4 years ago, and I never thought that I would have my own business. And ever since I started setting myself clear goals, the business has grown exponentially from what I can do on my own. And I've realised that setting those ambitions and dreams make it a reality. And so I set myself targets recently, huge stretch targets, and I also asked the guys that work with me to deliver it, what are your goals and dreams and what targets do you want to achieve? And I've integrated that into our overall targets, so we're all working to achieve these dreams, and everyone is on fire at the moment. Everyone's working really well and enjoying themselves, and it's like, okay, great, having a bit of perspective of like what we might achieve, and also being quite open about what we are achieving is really working.
I love this because it really shows those two very important components of dreams, I think. On one hand, you have this amazing vision that everyone is committed to because that vision is part of their goals and dreams. But on another hand, you are aiming for this daily progress. And really, the biggest difference between a bad and a good day is whether we feel that we made progress, even if it's a small one. Love it. I definitely can relate more towards that idea of building confidence and building skills and developing through dreams. I feel like the dreams really have the potential to stretch us, stretch our abilities, push us out of the comfort zone. As you said earlier, you didn't really think you can be running a successful business, but you're doing it now. So you went through that journey and you learned, and because you had that dream, now you're achieving great results. So I really like the concept of knowing that if I have the dreams and I have that vision in life, then I can really develop and push myself forward.
My dreams have become quite a lot more ambitious recently because I've seen what I'm capable of, and I've got so much more confidence in what I'm able to do that I have got clear dreams now.
Very interesting point around, as you say, having that confidence to first of all set up those dreams, clarify them, identify them, but also how our dreams change when we gain that confidence. However, what could be a flip side of this? Because suddenly I feel like, okay, what could happen to our happiness if our dreams are too ambitious or maybe not ambitious enough?
Yeah, like you set yourself something really unattainable. I want to be like Brad Pitt. I want to be Hollywood superstar and nothing else will do.
Yeah, too much pressure, too high expectation can definitely undermine our confidence. I definitely been myself in situation when I would overestimate of how quickly I can achieve my dreams. Thinking, yeah, sure, this will take me only that long, or this is, if I will put in that much energy into something, it will just happen. And actually with time and with my confidence, I know I have much more realistic estimation of really how attainable certain dreams that I have are.
So do you think that that's been damaging in the past or made you unhappy by having those unrealistic expectations for your dreams?
Oh, definitely. The moment there are unrealistic expectations, my perfectionist kicks in and says, wow, you're supposed to already done it, it's supposed to be perfect. And definitely then you start thinking, wow, am I actually able to do this? Or maybe I don't have the skills to do it. And this is then obviously the idea of, can we adjust our dreams slightly rather than resign from them? Yes, you might not be a famous pop star in the future, but can you still put your energy potentially towards music or singing that is still fulfilling for you?
Yeah. Well, what makes you happy? And I think pop star is an interesting example because singing, music, these are activities that you should do for the love first, because the money is going to be hard to find or the success is hard to find. The dream should just be to do it, to enjoy doing it.
I'm going to pick up on the one thing that you said. I think it's so important that we're doing something for the love of doing it, because there will be bumps and challenges on the road. And this is another reality check, I think, which is quite important when we're setting up dreams. Are those dreams are mine, or they've been forced onto me? And also having that realistic check around, okay, I will be hoping for the best. Of course, we should be hoping for the best, but we also have to be ready for difficulties because it just won't be an easy drive. This is also when I think the dreams that when a child clash with your adult dreams. When I was a child, I really thought the sky is the limit. And then life happens and things are not as straightforward as they seem when you were a child. And yes, you still can achieve anything. And our mindset, of course, is very important that we believe we can do things. But let's be honest, life is complicated and it doesn't really go according to our plan. And we just need to be ready for that. This brings us to the there in a nice way because I, similarly as you, struggled to set up a big grand dream. And usually my approach toward dream is quite pragmatic. And what I usually do is I sit down in the beginning of the year with my other half and we set up our dream line for the year.
Oh my God, do you really do a dream line?
We do a dream line and it is a bloody good spreadsheet, and me and my other half, we love a good spreadsheet. And our dream line will include intentions for the year and then lots of goals, individual ones or the common ones, depends, really from anything, from well-being to the career. It kind of sounds like the classic New Year's resolution process, but what we do then is every 2 months we will revisit our dream line and we will reevaluate the dreams back and think, is this still valid? Do we still want to do this? Is the reality allowing us to do this? Is it still realistic and attainable for us? And as part of there, I thought, you know what, it's a great time actually to look at our dream line. And I looked at our dream line and I thought, okay, great. So on one hand, it's amazing to see that, yeah, I do know already what I want to do in my life, at least this year and next year. But lots of my dreams need to be readjusted or need to be put on hold because of the current situation. And then I looked at all the dreams and I thought, those dreams really are all about doing something, achieving something, having something. And I just suddenly wondered that in the climate when doing is limited, how nice actually would be to concentrate and take that time to have dreams about being.
Whoa, what do you mean?
I decided to, on the dream line, include things which are about me being and me becoming a better person, rather than necessarily doing activities in terms of more achievements. And I thought, okay, if next year I will sit back, what kind of aspect would I like to improve or develop, who I would like to be, rather than what I would like to have or what I would like to have done in last year. And I thought that, you know what, one thing that I would love to develop is be more patient in life. I dislike the process of waiting. I definitely love a good moan rather than have that aspect of gratitude in life. And I thought this is a great opportunity to practice that patience. In the same time, when I was having all this thought process, and this shows you how sometimes we are connected to weird and wonderful things in this world, my best friend who lives in Mexico City added me to a 21 meditation challenge. And usually I'll be like, no way I'm doing this. There's just 21 days of meditation, exercises, but all the exercises are all about abundance, gratitude, and check this out, restlessness.
Claudia, that is amazing.
So I thought, great, this is an amazing opportunity.
Wow, God, that's incredible that you've gone around like that. You've really problem solved that.
So this is, in terms of this is where I'm going. I'm looking at the more of being aspect than doing.
Yeah, you've not just sort of given up on it. We came to the same challenge. I gave up or accepted that as it was, you pushed through and found something completely upside down, but so right for where you're at the moment. That's really amazing. So how are you feeling about this new line of thinking?
Well, I can already tell you that it is quite difficult in terms of I'm already not patient with this entire project of 21 days of meditation and doing all those exercises. And this just shows you how much I need this. I'm like, this is just too long. Can they just tell me a solution in like 3 meditations, please? But you have to go on this journey. Well, I would like to go on this journey. There's a very famous book around this by Erich Fromm, who was a psychologist and sociologist and philosopher. And his book is about psyche, but also social economic change, and speaks exactly about how the society is based around the model of having and doing rather than being. So I found that absolutely fascinating. But before I kind of dive into it, I just want to understand more your thought process and what was the result for you of the dare. As in, you're not getting off the hook that easy.
Because all of the dreams I have at the moment, or my focus anyway, my focus is all on definitely the doing side of things. And I hadn't considered the being at all. This is a whole revelation for me, Klaudia. That's amazing. But I was thinking all about what my current dreams are, which is I really want to buy a flat. And then it's like, well, I've set these, it's all quite financial, it's all quite self. That's why I was feeling anxious, I think, because my dreams are very about my own personal gain. But also it made me feel quite good because it made me realise how I can achieve what I want to. And so if I was to refocus my mind or rethink it a little bit like you, in terms of like, well, what kind of person do you want to be? Stop thinking about what you want to have and who do you want to be, then hearing you talk then is like, okay, yeah, you can do these things. It did also make me feel quite good to look at what I've done in my life to achieve the dreams that I've had.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing all of this, because I think it's so important. I think we shouldn't completely criticize and drop the idea of having and doing. I mean, let's be honest, as human beings, that's what drives us forward. And
yeah,
it's absolutely normal, natural, and fine to want all of those stuff. And I think those two aspects are also quite interconnected. Okay, so in language sense, we say a lot about have, right? So we say, for instance, I want to have a job rather than I want to be an expert. But they quite connected, aren't they? Because if I'm an expert and I concentrate on that, then there will be lots of opportunities for me to have a good job. This is when you were saying when you need to be committed to your dream because the road gets bumpy. You should be really doing it for the love of for doing it. This is this idea of concentrating on being better at something, being a better person, an expert, entrepreneur, whatever you would like to become, and concentrating on that process, because when the roads get bumpy, I think that gives you more confidence rather than necessarily having the stress of, oh, I really need to have or I need to do something.
I think it's all a circular thing. The love of something can come from the successes that you have because you find that confidence. So yeah, I think all those 3 things to achieve your dreams, yeah, it's interesting to break it down like that, isn't it?
And coming back to Erich Fromm, who wrote this book called To Have or To Be, he was speaking in that book about the fact that the being mode with this purpose of becoming has 3 specific advantages to us. And I really think they can help us to think around our dreams even more. He was saying that the mindset of being creates much more self-confidence because no one can really take away of who we are. Things can go wrong in external world and our jobs can be taken and possession. Things can go tricky for us. But he was speaking about you have that more self-confidence. The second one is if you don't necessarily want to have, but you're concentrating more on becoming and being, then you may develop more tendency to appreciate things for what they are. And the third aspect he was speaking about is that when we have the mindset of being and becoming, we can cultivate much more around fulfillment, expressing our ability to love, create, share, reason. And we're much more flexible in adjusting our direction rather than being focused, I must have this or I must do this. And if not, then I haven't completed my dream. How do you feel about that?
I just have to say my mind is being blown because this is a whole new approach that's never even come into my consideration before. And I feel a bit nervous about it, I have to say, because I've been on a real goal setting mission the last 6 to 8 months and I'm making a lot of headway. I feel a bit like, right, okay, let's reframe my approach, reframe the thinking. It will be interesting. I feel like I need to extend the dare now to the rest of the second week.
Try it and see how you feel. And again, this is just one perspective, something to think about, very different perspective towards a dream setting. And I think this perspective can be beautifully summarized by a quote by Alain de I don't know how to say his name.
Oh, I love him. I've got his book here, actually.
Okay, can you say... Because I have no idea how to... I have found this amazing quote by the founder of School of Life.
Alain de Botton.
Perfect. And the quote is, which I love it, it's so normal to want to better life. So unusual and so much more interesting to set out to be a better person.
That's a nice little ending, isn't it, Klaudia? Wow, getting pro at this now.
I know, even having inspirational quotes at the end. Who thought?
Oh, yeah, be a better person. Yeah, I'll put it on the list.
So feeling good about the future is important to our happiness. Definitely, as we discussed, dreams do motivate us and excite us. It's quite good to track the progress daily so we can really see how we are developing. And it's good to be realistic. Be optimistic, should aim for the best, but also be realistic that there will be lots of bumps on the way. And also another perspective to add, it's about being rather than not necessarily doing or having. And as you said, just add on maybe to your list of your dream line or your goals, how to be a better person. Why not?
So next week is E, the letter E, for empathy.
Yes.
Woohoo!
We will be talking all about how empathy can help us to boost happiness in our relationships. And for that week there, Kitty, I would like you to watch out for situations when other people annoy you, make you angry, make you upset. And in those situations, I would like you to write a defense letter on their behalf, outlining all the mitigating circumstances for their behavior.
I was thinking about definitely someone is going to upset me next week. And then to sit down and defend them will be interesting. And I look forward to seeing how that will actually impact my happiness. Because currently I'm thinking, will it? So it will be interesting to see what it brings up.
Yeah, I think it will definitely change our perspective slightly, but I'm curious as well how our happiness and perspective will actually change on the basis of trying to be more empathetic and looking through the lenses and the glasses of another person, even though you're having all these negative emotions towards them.
Woo! Okay, everybody, remember to like and subscribe and tell all of your friends, share it on Facebook, etc. Thanks. I will see you next week, Klaudia.
Yes, exciting week next week. And remember to be happy.